Olafur Eliasson is a Danish artist whose sculptures and large-scale installation art employed elemental materials such as light, water, and air temperature to enhance the viewer's experience of the ordinary. His works generally explore the relevance of art in the world at large. He was born in Denmark in 1967, but spent a lot of his childhood in Iceland, where his parents were from. Iceland's wild landscapes had a powerful impact on the artist. Its hot pools, lava fields, volcanoes, waterfalls, caves, and moss banks. His later works included rainbows and clouds of steam, recreating some of the things that enchanted him as a boy. From 1989 to 1995, he studied at the Royal Danish Academy of Fine Arts in Copenhagen, before moving to Berlin and founded Studio Olafur Eliasson. This is when he began to receive international attention with groundbreaking sculptures and installations that employed illusory tools along with intentionally simple mechanics. Later on in his career, he divided his time between Copenhagen and his studio in Berlin, where projects were conceptualized and constructed by a team of architects, engineers, and assistants. Today, Studio Olafur Eliasson comprises a large team of craftsmen, architects, researchers, administrators, cooks, programmers, art historians, and specialized technicians. Olafur Eliasson's creative forms of expression include practically every artistic medium: sculpture, painting, photography, video, installation, architecture, and site-specific projects. Although he works in many mediums, he is widely known for his installation art. In many of his installations, nature becomes his artistic material, from moss, glacial meltwater, and fog to light and reflective metals. By playing with simple elements like light, water, and mirrors, he creates mesmerizing visual effects. Eliasson often mixes science, technology, and art when creating his pieces. His early works used different kinds of light to alter the experience of space and architecture. Some examples are window projection, wannabe, and I grew up in solitude and silence. These were all made while Eliasson was still at art school. As with many of Eliasson's work of this time, the mechanism is very simple and never concealed from view. Eliasson's artworks are always a sight to behold, but first comes a rigorous process of ideation from within the walls of Studio Olafur Eliasson. In an interview, Eliasson said that his works always begin from an abstract feeling or from an intuition. He then tries to embrace this abstraction and not try to force it prematurely into an idea. As it develops, he begins to formulate it in language before creating a sketch of it, which can be anything, not just a drawing. Then, together with his studio team, he starts creating a model. Different variations on the idea will then be attempted. He tries to stay true to the original idea, but there is a certain space for change and development in reaction to pragmatic considerations. After that, the idea has become a complete artwork and left the studio. At that moment, Eliasson believes that the artwork belongs as much to the viewer as it does to him. Eliasson's art comes from three particularly important interests. These are his concern with nature, honed through his time spent in Iceland, his research into geometry, and his ongoing investigation into how humans perceive, feel about, and shape the world around us. He puts experience at the center of his art. He hopes that as the audience encounters his work, they become more aware of their senses. He wants the audience to add meaning to the works as they bring their own associations and memories through these experiences. Viewer might also become more aware of the people around them, with whom they form a temporary community. This heightened awareness of yourself and other people creates a new sense of responsibility. Ultimately, he believes that art can have a strong impact on the world. Eliasson's ability to combine art, science, and natural phenomena to enhance the viewer's experience reached its apex when he began creating fully immersive installations on a grand scale. In his most celebrated large-scale installation, the Weather Project, Eliasson transformed the massive turbine hall at London's Tate Modern into a captivating artificial environment. Using a simple assemblage of 200 mono-frequency bulbs arranged in a semicircle and reflected onto a mirrored ceiling. Eliasson created a giant fake sun of dazzling pseudo-radiance. That was the only light source in the room. Throughout the space, water was sprayed. The mist accumulates into cloud-like formations before dissipating across the space, completing the alluring environmental effect. The ceiling of the space was covered by a large mirror in which visitors could see themselves, reflected as tiny black shadows on a sea of orange light. Many viewers of this exhibition were prone to lie on their backs and wave their hands and legs around in participation with the piece. By bringing the sun indoors, people were encouraged to consider their relationship with an object of extraordinary beauty, which had otherwise become nonchalantly familiar. The awe-inspiring experience reportedly attracted 2 million visitors, evidence that Eliasson's mission to influence an individual's reconnection to the world around them was indeed successful. From his childhood in Iceland to his passion for breakdancing, his fascination with weather to the climate change activism that's inspired world leaders, Eliasson has had a huge impact on the art world. He has launched projects addressing sustainable energy and the climate emergency, being a part of many social and environmental projects, most of which he initiated. For example, in 2012, together with the engineer Frederick Ottesen, he created Little Sun, a light source powered by solar energy, created with the aim of improving the quality of life in places where electricity is not available. This solar cell lamp also decreases the amount of carbon dioxide emitted into the atmosphere by placing traditional fossil fuel light sources. Ice Watch is another project by Eliasson, which was placed in front of Paris's Pantheon during the United Nations Conference on Climate Change. It comprises 12 gigantic blocks of ice that begin their journey from Greenland to Paris. As the ice blocks melt, they will provide a harsh illustration of the effects of global temperature changes. Ice Watch made the crisis of climate change tangible for people. Olafur Eliasson has changed what it means to be an artist, creating beautiful and astounding works of art that brings people together. Eliasson's underlying mission to make the world a better place is largely informed by work that asks the viewers to think about their role in globalization and environmentalism. In doing so, he expands the historical role of activist art with a focus less on the personal issues of our time and more on the overarching concerns that back current contemplation towards a more humanitarian future. Eliasson strives to jostle the status quo by creating work that compels uncertainty, transforming the role of art beyond its simple aesthetic or experiential value and into a powerful tool for battling complacency. He has stated that this uncertainty is important to him, as it encourages people to think and sense beyond the limit within which they are accustomed to function. The artist's presentation of our communal experience of space, ambiguous materialization, and its constant state of flux is often derived from the juxtaposition of man-made and ephemeral elements. His interaction with natural phenomena such as light, water, air, and the environment have vastly dissolved the boundaries of what is considered a traditional artistic medium. Eliasson enforces his viewers to reconnect with the self, spurring reflection into their experiences within and relationship to the world at large. His work becomes a catalyst which forwards the concept of individual agency. And that is Olafur Eliasson's impact as an artist.